I'm gonna need some bleach on my eye and brain so I can forget about this show ever existed. Hey guys, I'm back, and today we're gonna talk about a show that has been a very hot topic during this month on social media. Is The Idol. If you have been on Twitter this past month, it's impossible that you have not heard about this show because the things that people have said about this show and the things that actually happen in this show is, like I said, I need some bleach so I can reset. Hey, I just wanted to give you a little trigger warning. I'm gonna be mentioning things such as assault and abuse and mental illness. I don't go in depth in any of this subject, but I did wanted to give a little trigger warning because I know some people might get a little triggered by that. So if you want to skip this video, feel free to do so. Okay, so I forgot to put on my notes what the show was really about. So I just quick Google search, The Idol plot. The Idol follows a young pop star who stumbles into the clutches of a charismatic, whatever, cult leader after suffering from a nervous breakdown that made her fall from grace. I'm gonna stick to that plot. Just as I finished filming this video and I was about to start editing, pictures of the behind the scenes of what would have been the OG version of The Idol back when Amy was still director came out, and the show looks like it was such a girly show that was made for the girls. It has the vibe that it was gonna be like a Disney child star type of show. We were robbed. Why do men have to destroy everything? This video, I'm gonna be recapping the 5 episodes, and then while I'm recapping, I'm gonna give my little opinions on everything that happens, and then I'm also gonna give my general opinion on the show. But first, I feel like I need to explain myself why I watched the show, because a lot of people on social media were like, don't watch the show, so there's not gonna be a season 2. I have this thing, and when people are like, don't do this, I wanna do it. So I did it. Especially when people are talking bad about certain something, like people are talking about, oh, this show is so bad, don't watch it. I'm like, I need to. So I did. And now I'm gonna make a video about it. So here I am making some charity work for y'all. I watched the show so you don't have to. So, oh, and don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you did, comment, yada yada yada, all of those things that I always forget to mention on my videos. Anyway, episode 1, opening scene of The Idol. Lily Rose Depp, aka Jocelyn, doing some headshots and making very weird faces. I guess to show off her range as an actor or whatever. While a bunch of people are in the room taking pictures of her, and she is wearing almost nothing. During the shooting, her team is speaking in her back because someone leaked a photo of her with cum on her face, and they want to delete the photo. They don't want Jocelyn to know about it because they are scared that she, gets affected. Apparently, she used to be in a bad mental health, which is the reason why her last tour was canceled, because she was not doing okay mentally. So they are scared of showing her picture and her getting into some, I don't like the word, but I don't know what other word to use, breakdown. And during the shoot, she starts showing the tits, and the intimacy coordinator freaks out and is like, you can't do that, you can't do that. And she's like, they kind of villainize the intimacy coordinator to the point that they lock him in the room and they forget about him because at no point in the show they get him out. It's like that episode in Pretty Little Liars. Sorry that I mentioned Pretty Little Liars in every video. But it's like that one episode of Pretty Little Liars where the moms get stuck into the basement and we just forget about them. And in one episode, they randomly mention that, but they don't really mention how they got out. Like the point of him is making a contract between the artist and the person doing the shooting to make an agreement on what parts of your body are gonna be shown in the picture to protect that the person that is being photographed doesn't show more than they want to show, and the photographer doesn't take advantage of that, I guess. And the way that they villainize him, some people are theorizing that it's a way for Sam Levinson to clap back at a certain actress from Euphoria who complained about the many times she had to strip down. They finally show her the picture and they're relieved at the fact that she kind of brushed it off as it can be worse, and she goes to a club where she meets Rat Tail the Weekend, and everything goes down from there. Leah, Jocelyn's assistant and best friend, the only person that truly cares about Jocelyn, and we will talk about that later, she doesn't like the Weekend. She doesn't like Tedros. She feels a bad vibe about him and she tells Jocelyn about it. She even uses the word rapey to describe him, and Jocelyn just brushed it off and invites him over, and she shows him her song that she is sort of insecure about because she feels like it's not as good as people say it is. And he hears it and he tells her that she needs to sing like she knows how to fuck. Disturbing things happened after that I'm not going to describe because I wish I didn't see that. Episode 2, Jocelyn gathers her team to show her the new sound that she recorded with Tedros, where there's a lot of moaning and people are like kind of disturbed about it. Her Nikki actually refuses the sound and Jocelyn is upset. And Nikki goes on to talk about how she doesn't want to go through what happened last time, where they wanted her, when they wanted Jocelyn to cancel the tour, but she didn't, and then did it last minute. And Nikki is afraid that that's gonna happen again. So it's a day to record the music video. Okay, so she was late to the music video because she had cuts in her inner thigh and they had to airbrush it. No one is concerned, by the way. Like they're like, she had cuts, and that's it. No one asks what is going on. No one tries to reach out and be like, hey, I heard that this happened. Are you okay? Is there something that we don't know? You think that these people would care more about her because she cost them money? Because not only are they her team and obviously should care about her, but it's their money too. They earn money because of her. She's having a hard time during the shooting. Like she's constantly redoing it and redoing it to the point the director is tired of her. And what is kind of heartbreaking for me is that when she finally does it well, when she finally hits all the notes and beautifully, like seriously, the front camera stops working so they can use any of that, and obviously Justin is devastated and starts crying out of stress and anxiety, and I felt bad for her. During the whole shooting, her team finds out about Tedros and they try to gather information about him, but they realize that he's basically non-existent because nobody knows who he is or what he looks like or his real name. And I said that they didn't care about the cuts. They did. Like they tried to figure out how she got them and they're like worried about them. But like they never talk to her. That's the thing. Like they talk at her back, like, oh my god, I'm worried about her, but you never like reach out. It's like they treat her like she's a bomb and like she's gonna explode one day, and Jocelyn doesn't really have anyone to rely on. So during the music video, they approach one of the dancers, Diane, and they ask her to sing and dance to the song. They're really impressed by that. When Tedros arrives to Jocelyn's house, he arrives with two friends. A girl jumps into the pool naked for some reason, and the other guy is flirting with Leah. And the girl that jumped into the pool naked starts playing the piano naked. Naked girl is like dancing around the house, and it's just everything very, very, very odd. Like, who are these people, and where did Tedros get these people from, and exactly what did they do? Leah asked one of these people, Isaac, who is flirting with her and kind of pressuring her into having sex. She starts asking him questions about Tedros, like how did they meet, and I believe they met at church. Her instinct signed him to his label. What label? I don't know. Meanwhile, Joss tells Tedros everything that happened during the music video, that she feels like everybody thinks that she's unreliable, and he tries to make her feel better, even though that I think he has hidden reasons. And when they go to her room to, well, you know what they're gonna do. The naked girl, her name is Chloe, is in the closet watching them. And the show ends when everybody's singing. Episode 3, we go shopping with Leah, Tedros, and Jocelyn. They are driving a convertible. Is it what it is? Convertible. Yes, a convertible. And Leah's driving, and in the back of the seat, again, a convertible, everyone. It's very visible. Anyone can see them and hear them. In the back of the seat, Joss and Tedros are doing things, and Leah is so visibly disturbed. Like, that is so. They go into Valentino's to shop for, entertainment, and the weekend trend is a male employee because he's looking at Joss, and he's not even looking at her inappropriately. He's just looking at her because she's beautiful. Meanwhile, Leah calls Haim, which is the manager, because she's concerned. Destiny and Haim, Leah deserves so much better from anyone in the show, and I'm so happy about what happens in the last episode. She is telling them her concerns. She doesn't think that Jocelyn is okay. She doesn't think that Tedros is the right influence for her. And they call her brain dead. They call her stupid for caring about her best friend. They laugh at her for raising her concerns about Jocelyn, which they should be doing as well. The Weeknd is like taking over everything. He's like, Jocelyn, we're this, we're that, I like this. She says, oh, I don't like this, oh, but I like it. He starts taking control over everything, and he slaps a guy who is touching Joss' abs for no reason, and makes Joss kick him out and confronts Leah about running the show. Like, Leah tries to stand up for herself and for Joss because she knows that she doesn't have the support of anybody else. She tries to stand up to him, and he's just like, he just makes fun of her and he treats her very bad. I hate that Joss allows it. I hate it. I truly do. I know that she's under his influence. I know she's being manipulated by him, but I just hate it. She deserves better. So Haim and Destiny are interrogating Tedros, like, who are you, where are you from, but all in a friendly manner, for trying to figure out who is, and they realize that everything that he says, he is lying. They realize that Jocelyn is in trouble. Okay, so Joss is talking to Tedros' minions, kids, fuck, and they tell her that she can't say no to Tedros because if she says no, she's denying an experience. They're so brainwashed. I wrote something down here, but I don't remember exactly what I was referring to here. I put that they compare losing a child to the word missing out a song about it. Oh, I remember. I think someone wrote a song about losing their child, and they make the comparison of if that person never had lost their child, the world would have missed that person's beautiful song about that pain. They compare the loss of a child to the word missing out on a song about that pain. Troye Sivan, Sander, saw his idea about making the leaked photo of Jocelyn when combing her face, the album cover, and Leah's against it. And of course, Cedric agrees. And just as you think about it, she doesn't really want to do it, but she's like, oh, think about it. And Tedros is like trying to push her to take the risk when she clearly doesn't want to because she is humiliated. And he's like, I can't without do it. I can't. Troy takes Tedros' sides about missing out, about not taking risk, and just claps back at Tedros for the first time, down talking her when he is the amateur and she's actually the professional. And he even pressures her into talking about her mom when she very clearly says that she's not gonna talk about it in front of people. And after she's pressured by Tedros, she talks about her mom hitting her after for literally any reason until the chemo weakened her enough that she couldn't do it anymore. Tedros' reaction to her story being abused by her mom is to accuse people of not doing anything about it, even making Sander to blame for not doing the right thing. And at no point he shows any kind of sympathy for what she went through. He just wants to isolate her from anyone. He just wants to villainize everyone, and so he can have her by herself, something that abusers do. Ask her if she missed being hit. And he even calls her abuse a motivation to work. He makes her take the hairbrush and do what her mommy used to do. I don't even know what to say. You pressure Jocelyn into telling you something that she didn't want to tell you in the first place. You didn't want to tell anyone. Tedros hears that, and he hears whatever was happening to Jocelyn, and he just turns to Sander and be like, what did you do? You did nothing. Huh. So he's smart enough to realize that what happened to Jocelyn is bad, so he can blame Sander for not doing anything because what her mom did was bad. But he isn't smart enough to be like, what you went through is so wrong, I'm gonna do it myself. Don't you love man? Episode 4, and we have The Weeknd acting in the house like he owns the fucking place. Destiny discovers that Tedros, real name Mauricio, got arrested for beating up his old DF, and just tells Tedros that she doesn't want to make decisions on her own. And he sees, obviously, the opportunity to take control. Destiny goes undercover to see what's going on. She gets into a double agent kinds of thing to see exactly what's going on in the house. She is surprised when she gets in the house and see the amount of people that are living there. It looks like a fucking hotel. The minute that she starts talking to Chloe, she forgets what her mission was. She forgets that she was there to figure it out who really is Cedros and what's going on to Jocelyn. And Destiny gives Chloe singing tips, which Chloe has a beautiful voice, not gonna lie, but Destiny, that's not what you were supposed to do in the house. Meanwhile, Diane gets an amazing deal, sing a world-class singer to make actually that song that was Jocelyn, to make her her own, and we're very happy for her. When Destiny hears the song that Joss and Tetris were working on, she says that she doesn't like a certain part of the song, and Tetros puts the blind on Joss and starts touching her while she sings in front of everyone. Destiny tells Chaim about the kids living there. All of them have talent and they are under Tetris control. What do they do with that information? Nothing. But are we surprised? Tetris gathers everyone and puts a collar and Sander against his will, obviously, and starts choking him repeatedly, accusing him for not telling anyone and about just abusive mom. And he claims that he wasn't able to because her mom had control over him, and accuses Joss of being a bitch, which I'm pretty sure he only did it because of the situation that he was in. He was suffering from the tasers, and he just keeps torturing him at Joss' demand. He did ask him to stop initially, but under his influence, she agreed to continue on. And Tedra finally stops when Xander claims to be lying. Joss tells Destiny about Tedra's crazy ex-girlfriend, that he choked him or tried to choke him, and she hit him and he hit her bad. Joss claims that it was self-defense because it's what Tedros told her. She laughs at the story of the girlfriend claiming that he abused her. And Destiny is concerned because Joss believes all his lies. She's completely under his manipulation. And she tells the world about her views after Tedros told her to do so. Again, she didn't even want to tell the people living in her house about it. And now she's telling the world because Tedros told her to do so. Invites her ex, Rob. The weekend is heard after Jocelyn runs into Rob's arms and they lock themselves in their bedroom. Now on to episode 5, the final episode of the show. The Idol was originally going to be 6 episodes, but for some reason when they released episode 4, they announced that it was only going to be 5 episodes. So whatever happened, I'm pretty sure, this is my assumption, they delete episode 5 and just left episode 6 because many things in this episode piss me off. Well, I actually stopped the show many times, like every time that I would see Jocelyn smoking a cigarette or I would see a body part that I definitely did not want to see, I would stop the episode because I would just roll my eyes because why am I seeing her tits again? But 3 times did I cringe, did I got so fucking frustrated in this fucking episode. So let's go with part 1, which is out of the sudden, Joss is acting hostile. So the episode starts with Joss singing and Tedros is outside of the room. When he comes inside to wanting to hear the song, she kicks him out, calling him a liar and a fraud, and she stands up to him. And this is when I started getting kind of confused because at no point between the last scene from episode 4 and this scene from episode 5 drives her into the realization of, her being manipulated or gaslighted and abused by him. Fink calls her to have a meeting about tour. Just is very worried about this meeting. Chaim Fink, Destiny, and Nikki arrive and are pushed into a room by a desperate Tedros with all the kids almost naked and being inappropriate to them. Chloe and Isaac sing at Destiny and just demands. And Fink is the only one who doesn't buy this bullshit and is concerned for Joss to be sane enough to go on tour. When I tell you that everybody was being inappropriate, everybody was being inappropriate. Like, it looked like you just got into a strip club. Awful, disgusting, disturbed. I'm forever traumatized. Jocelyn's ex tries to get in touch with Joss because Sander took a picture of him with a girl who is claiming that he. Leah tries to get Jocelyn on the phone, but Jocelyn refuses because she is so worried about the tour, and that's the only thing that she is thinking about. So everybody starts to sing during the tour meeting, and it looks like fucking American Idol. It looks like they are competing to get a spot on Justin's tour. Thing number two that frustrated me from this episode, which was changing the subject when the news about Rob being a rapist came out. Joss is concerned. She has a feeling that Tedros had something to do about it, and Tedros claims that he heard like violent things about him instead of continuing talking about the subject, because out of everyone, Joss is the one that knows Rob's the best because she dated him. She's the one who can, I guess, support or deny these alleged claims, especially because Tedros has something to do with it, Xander has something to do with it, like, which is why Rob wants to get in touch with her. Anyway, instead of continuing the conversation, Xander starts singing and everyone just drops the subject. The Rob situation is never addressed at no point whatsoever. Okay, so I can understand that Joss has many things in her mind, and Rob's allegations are the last thing on her mind, so I can understand. But it really frustrates me how they drop the subject and then they never talk about it. Like, why even bringing that into the show in the first place? I hate when TV shows do this. Like, they bring something to the episodes and then they forget about it. Like, don't. Xander starts singing and they forget about Rob. And while he's performing, Joss pulls Tedros out. She kicks him out, but he refuses to leave. So she talks to Chaim to pay him whatever it needs to be paid so he can leave. Chaim offers him 500K that Tedros refuses. So plan B. Oh, this is the other thing that pissed me off. We never find out what plan B was. I thought plan B was putting him in jail or killing him or something. We never find out what plan B is because we see Tedros walking on the street freely 6 weeks later after all of this happens. Anyway, after Joss performs, Fink assures her that tour is back on and that everyone is proud of her, and she announces that Cinder's gonna be her opening act, and Leah leaves the house with a note for Joss. And seriously, that's the best thing that Leah can do because nobody appreciates Leah in that fucking household. Nobody, not even Joss, who's supposed to be her best friend. 6 weeks later, tour starts and they sold out. Nikki, Chaim, and Fink talk about how they ruined Tedros' life, how they're never gonna see him again, and they're laughing about, oh my god, we got rid of him, ha ha ha. Meanwhile, Tedros is getting his artist pass and going to see Joss. Number 3, Tedros having an artist pass and just letting him in. So it wasn't bad enough that he walked up to the ticket place. I don't know exactly what you call that. He goes there and he's like, I think Jocelyn left me an artist pass, and she's like, what's your name? Tedros. Oh, there's nothing under that name. Okay, well, maybe Mauricio. Oh, yes, there you go. What? Finally, out of no reason, Jocelyn stand up for herself and she kicked him out. She didn't want to see him anymore. She didn't want him to stay in the house anymore. She finally took control back to her life. And Haim apparently did plan B, whatever that was. And he has an artist pass. And that's not the worst part. He goes inside. Before he talks to Jocelyn, Destiny gives him some sort of warning about hurting her and that she doesn't care about his past. Which I'm like, yes, I understand and I agreed. We should not be judging someone based on their past because the past is the past and we change and we grow up and we realize that whatever we did in the past is not okay and we're not that person anymore. Again, we grow and we learn. Sure. Holding someone because of their actions in the past when that was like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, sure, I'm with you to a certain extent. But when his past was literally 6 weeks ago and his past is about abusing women, especially that woman that you are warning him to not hurt, he already hurt her. I think you should care about his past when he already did that. You're giving him a chance to do that again. He sees Joss and they tell each other how much they missed each other. And when Joss goes on stage, she introduces her audience to the love of her life and brings Tedros on stage and kisses him. And that's how the show ends. Let's give my opinions already because I am so filled up. If I had to describe the auto to someone that has never watched a show, I would basically say it's a show about Lily Rose Depp's tits and body in general, but mainly her tits, with a little bit of drama. But drama that leads to nowhere because there's no storyline that they follow. It's just a bunch of things happening and getting no resolution. Look, I try my best not to look at her tits. I try my best to skip those scenes because I don't want to see her tits. I don't want to see anybody's tits. But I couldn't help but notice that her nipples are like this. The girl is fucking cold. They could have at least turned the AC off because the girl is suffering. I saw a tweet yesterday on Twitter. It was claiming that the show was more deep than the show actually was. They tried to correlate the opening scene when Jocelyn making these faces, these headshots where she is showing off her range of emotions in her face, and they connect that to the last scene of the last episode where she is looking at Tedros, and people are kind of claiming that she is the master manipulator, you know? It's just Sam Levinson and The Weeknd, they're not smart enough to pull off a show or a movie like Gone Girl. Like, they're not smart enough to do that. There are many things wrong with this show, obviously, with the amount of nakedness. I don't have a problem when TV shows or movies showing a little bit of skin. When you can't have an episode without showing some sort of body part that it's where I have my problem with. The episode, let's say it has 50 minutes, at least every 15 minutes there is a shot of Lily's tits or butt, or maybe not her but Chloe's, or another girl, and I'm just like, I don't want to see that. Like, what's the point? And let's talk about how the show, it was supposed to be about the exploitation of women in Hollywood and the music film industry. So that was what the show was originally going to be about back when Amy was still the director, and actually they filmed around 80% of the show, like almost everything, right? And they fired her because it was too much into the film and perspective. So they fired her and they hired Sam Levinson instead. If you don't know who Sam Levinson is a director and I think creator as well of Euphoria. I find that concerning and kind of leading into what the weekend thinks about women in real life. Of course, the show is gonna be about a female perspective because your main character is a woman. So I just don't understand. You don't want it to be from a female perspective? Then have your main character be a man. Oh, you can't do that. Well, it's about the exploitation of women in the industry. It's not even exploited by the industry. She's exploited by a random dude with a rat tail. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that what happened to the variety story. First 10 minutes of the episode, we're introduced to this character that I forgot her name, but we're introduced to this character who is a journalist for Variety, and she wants to make a story about Jocelyn. She wants to ask Jocelyn off the record. She doesn't want to put her. She doesn't want to put in the story. She wants to ask Jocelyn how she is, how she's dealing after her mom's death, and Jocelyn very clearly doesn't want to talk about it. Chaim reaches out to her and asks her when the story is due, and she tells him, "Oh, it's due Friday." I don't remember. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna need you to write about this. And he gives her a story. I don't know what it is because it was off camera. So we never got to listen, got to hear what the variety story was about. She was in every episode except episode 4, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously she was a big part. She was listening, she was there, like writing notes and recording things. So where's the story? If I had to make a top 5 things that piss me off on the show, it would be the unnecessary shots of Jocelyn's body, too many cigarettes. Number 3, the Weeknd's rat tail. Who the fuck told Weeknd? Who the fuck told him that a rat tail was okay? And you should never trust someone with a rat tail. You see a guy with a rat tail, you run the other side. That is a red flag. Number 4, her team. Everyone but Leah. And number 5, Sam Levinson. That's it. I mean, everything pissed me off from the show. Like, honestly, truly, don't watch the show. The Weeknd's behavior before the show aired, I think it was the Rolling Stones who uploaded like a review of the show, and they didn't really have anything nice to say about the show because there's nothing good to say about the show. I think the only good thing that I would say is that to be able to see Lily Rose Depp acting, I think the only time that I have seen her acting was in The King, a movie that I only watched because of Timothy Chalamet. So I think the only good thing that the show did was to show us her talent. I hope you guys enjoyed these rant, review, roast, recap, whatever you want to call it. I did not enjoy watching this, but I hope you did enjoy me suffering. July is a very bad month for me, so because my birthday is in August, and I'm gonna try not to disappear. I'm actually doing better because in 1 week I'm gonna see Harry Styles. My bestie got verified fan for the Eras tour, so we're gonna try and get tickets next week. So wish me luck. Let's see if I can make it to the Eras tour next year. And if all of that go wrong, I don't know if I'm gonna survive. Thank you guys for watching me and supporting me, and I'll see you guys hopefully soon. Bye.